Coming in at 10, Eminem vs Machine Gun Kelly. In August of 2018, Eminem released his surprise album Kamikaze, and on that album he decided to take aim at fellow rappers Lil Yachty, Drake, Lil Pump, Tyler the Creator, Joe Budden, Lil Xan, and of course Machine Gun Kelly. Eminem directed a few rhymes at MGK on the song Not Alike, I quote, "But next time you don't gotta use Tech 9 if you wanna come at me with a submachine gun. And I'm not talking to you, but you already know who the F you are, Kelly. I don't use sublimes and sure as F don't sneak diss, but keep commenting on my daughter Haley." Well then, the lyric seemingly stems from a 2012 tweet MGK posted commenting on how attractive he thought Eminem's daughter was. She was just 16 years old at the time. The tweet said, I quote, "Okay, so I just saw a picture of Eminem's daughter, and I have to say she is hot as fuck. In the most respectful way possible because M is king." In response to Eminem's track, MGK released Rap Devil, which was a poke at the Eminem moniker Rap God, a track that held literally no punches. Eminem was quick with a comeback, putting out the track called Kill Shot, with artwork that featured the likeness of MGK. MGK then responded with an Instagram post captioned, "He missed," with the picture showing MGK standing in front of a crowd wearing a Kill Shot shirt, middle finger high. Coming in at 9, Kim Kardashian vs Chloe Grace Moretz. This feud started a few years back in 2016 after Kim infamously released her nude selfie onto Twitter, which of course went viral. Chloe Grace Moretz was not a fan of this, tweeting, "There's a huge difference in respecting the platform that you're given as a celebrity and slut shaming, something I never have done and would never do." Kim wasn't a fan of this, responding to her tweet with, I quote, "Let's all welcome Chloe Grace Moretz to Twitter since no one knows who she is. Your nylon cover is cute, boo." Oof. The shade. Now, the two don't seem to have made amends since then, and Chloe seems to have no regrets tweeting out to Kim in the first place. She recently stated, I quote, "That picture wasn't linked to body confidence. It wasn't hashtag body confidence or hashtag love who you are. It was done in a slightly voyeuristic light, which I felt was a little inappropriate for young women to see." Preach, Chloe. I agree. Coming in at 8, Paris Hilton vs Nicole Richie. Paris and Nicole were childhood best friends who dominated reality TV when they starred together on the popular series The Simple Life back in 2003, which followed the pair as they travelled across the country, rid themselves of money and material items, and lived a very simple life. However, at the height of the show's fame, the two suddenly were at war with one another. Paris Hilton stated, I quote, "It's no big secret that Nicole and I are no longer friends. Nicole knows what she did, and that's all I'm ever going to say about it." Now, according to some reports, Nicole was jealous of the attention Paris was receiving, so she threw a party to celebrate Paris's appearance on the sketch show SNL, and followed it with a screening of Paris's notorious 2003 sex tape. Wow. Since then, the two made up and filmed 2 more seasons of The Simple Life. However, back in 2014, Nicole appeared on Andy Cohen's Watch What Happens Live, stating that the two don't talk much anymore, but she does still consider her to be a friend. Coming at 7, Elton John vs Madonna. This is one of the most notorious feuds on our list, with this pair being longtime frenemies, with a feud that became more apparent during the 2012 Golden Globe Awards. The two singers were pitted against each other in the Best Original Song category, and prior to the ceremony, Elton John was interviewed by Carson Daly, asking him who had the best chance of winning. When Madonna's name came up, Elton responded with, "She doesn't have a f***ing chance of winning." Madonna responded in kind, stating that those were fighting words, and of course, the Queen of Pop came out on top and beat out Elton for the grand prize. Good on you, Madge. Coming in at 6, Angelica Houston vs Jackie Weaver. This is a fresh feud for all you Hollywood gossip fanatics out there. In May of this year, Angelica Houston was on the press tour for John Wick Chapter 3, during which time she made some remarks about her contemporaries and their career choices. One jab in particular seemed to be directed at Jackie Weaver and her choice to do the film Poms. I quote, "Quite honestly, I'm looking for movies that impress me in some way, that aren't apologetically humble or humiliating like Band of Cheerleaders gets back together for one last hurrah, you know, an old lady cheerleader movie." Oof. Shots fired. Weaver's film Poms is of course that exact premise, so she had some choice words for Houston, stating, well, she can go f*** herself. However, in a radio interview with Andy Cohen, Houston apologized, well, a little bit, stating, "I hope I didn't hurt anyone's feelings, and if I did, I hope they come back at me." Well then, Jackie, now's your chance. Coming in at 5, Alyssa Milano vs Shannon Doherty. Growing up, WB's Charmed was my absolute favorite show, and Alyssa Milano and Shannon Doherty were 2 of the 3 stars on that show. That was up until Doherty was fired and replaced by Rose McGowan. According to sources, Milano and Doherty had a lot of conflicts between the scenes, which resulted in Doherty leaving. When Milano appeared on Andy Cohen's show, she stated, I quote, "I don't know if she got fired. We never really found out what happened. I can tell you that we were on the air with her for 3 years and there were definitely some rough days." Since then, it seems the two have somewhat buried the hatchet, with Milano stating, "What happens 15 years ago or however long it was, it's irrelevant." Milano also very quickly came to Doherty's side when she was diagnosed with breast cancer back in 2015. Coming in at 4, Ariana Grande versus Pete Davidson. Ariana Grande and Pete Davidson infamously called off their engagement in October 14th of last year. However, the SNL star was very quick to make jokes at the expense of his ex-fiancée in early November. During a promo clip for an SNL episode, Pete jokingly proposed to musical guest Maggie Rogers, stating, I quote, "Hey Maggie, I'm Pete, you wanna get married?" However, she rejects him and Pete states, 0 for 3. Yikes. After the promo was released, Grande tweeted, I quote, "For somebody who claims they hate relevancy, you sure love clinging to it." Oof. I can't deal with the shade. She then tweeted "thank you next" before deleting the tweets. And then of course on November 3rd, Grande released a track inspired by her ex-boyfriends called "Thank You Next," with some of the lyrics stating, I quote, "Even almost got married, and for Pete I'm so thankful. Wish I could say thank you to Malcolm, cause he was an angel. Look what you taught me, and for that I say, thank you next. I'm so f***ing grateful for my ex." That song is a bop. Coming in at 3, Taylor Swift vs Kanye West. This is perhaps one of the most epic feuds that we have on our entire list, with this fallout garnering media attention all over the world. Now this one began all the way back in 2009 at the MTV Music Awards when Kanye West infamously interrupted Taylor Swift's acceptance speech. However, the two publicly made up the following year, with West even discussing doing new music with Taylor in 2015. I quote, "She wants to get in the studio and we're definitely going to go in. I don't have an elitism about music. I don't discriminate." However, their music plans fell through when Kanye released his song Famous in 2016, where he rapped the lyrics, I quote, "I feel like me and Taylor might still have sex. Why? I made that famous." Taylor retaliated by vocaling her dislike of the song at the 2016 American Music Awards, even accusing Kanye of undermining her success. Now this is where Kim Kardashian joins the feud. She jumped in to defend Kanye by posting several videos of Taylor and Kanye discussing the song and proving that Taylor approved of the track's message from the very beginning. Coming at 2, Betty Davis vs Joan Crawford. Now a lot of you will be surprised that this didn't make our #1 spot, but you'll see why very soon. Betty Davis and Joan Crawford were Hollywood legends who had a just as legendary feud that started in 1935 when Davis fell in love with actor Franchot Thorne on the set of Dangerous. However, the newly divorced Crawford quickly tied Thorne down and ended up marrying him first. The feud continued when the two worked together on the iconic 1962 film Whatever Happened to Baby Jane, for which Davis was nominated for an Oscar. However, Crawford allegedly campaigned against her and even went on stage to accept the award on behalf of the winning actress Anne Bancroft. Younger viewers will also be familiar with the feud as it was brought to life on screen for the FX show Feuds, starring Jessica Lange and Susan Sarandon. And finally, coming in at #1, Bella Thorne vs Whoopi Goldberg. On June 15th of this year, a hacker threatened to release Bella Thorne's nude photos after they hacked all of her social media. So Bella took matters into her own hands and instead released them herself. I quote, "I'm putting this out because it's my decision. Now you don't get to take yet another thing from me." Most rallied behind the young star, but not Whoopi Goldberg on The View. The show discussed the situation, but Whoopi didn't seem to think Bella's actions were brave and instead shamed her. She said, I quote, "Listen, if you're famous, I don't care how old you are. You don't take nude pictures of yourself. When they're hacking you, they're hacking all of your stuff. So whether it's one picture or a million pictures, once you take that picture, it goes into the cloud and it's available to any hacker who wants it. And if you don't know that in 2019 that this is an issue, I'm sorry, you don't get to do that." Bella wasn't going to let Whoopi get the final say though, and she took to her Instagram stories, first writing a long note about how upset she was by Whoopi's stance before announcing she was cancelling her upcoming appearance on The View because she didn't want to get beaten down by older women. She then uploaded a video. Through tears she stated, "I'm not going to lie, I want to say I feel pretty disgusting. I just want to say, watching this interview, you made me feel really bad about myself and I hope you're happy, I really do. I can only imagine all the kids who have their shit released and then they commit suicide. You're so crazy for thinking such terrible things on such an awful situation." Whoopi failed to respond, but others were quick to come to the defense of Bella, and rightly so.
Starting off our list at #10 is Drake and Kanye West. Alright, so this feud has always been all over the place and it's pretty hard to keep track of. It started back in 2018 when they started taking shots at each other. The entire year was a whole bunch of drama involving secret children, alleged attacks, and betrayal. It all began in May when Pusha T took shots at Drake on Daytona, which was produced by Kanye. Drake responded with a diss track called Duppy Freestyle, which targeted both Pusha T and Kanye, and then it all just went downhill from there. Pusha released the story of a died-in, which outed Drake's story of having a secret child, which was then later confirmed. Drake thought that Kanye told Pusha about his child, but Kanye tweeted out that he never spoke to anyone about it. After the clash a month later, Pusha came forward saying it wasn't Kanye, but was actually Drake's own producer who told him. In December 2018, a battle broke out on Twitter, and it turned serious very quickly. Kanye tweeted, "Drake called me to threaten me," and Kim followed it by @Drake never threatened my husband or my family. He paved the way for there to be a Drake. Drake's only response was 5 laughing emojis on his Instagram story. Now, Kanye refuses to say his name in interviews and says that he is not allowed to mention him or any of his family members. So this is pretty serious because there were some pretty serious threats made. Up next at number 9 is Bella Thorne and Modsun. They dated for over a year and even got married. Well, they had a fake wedding. They weren't legally married, but they did this whole romantic ceremony for Mod's birthday because that's what he wanted. Which is super cute, right? Well, after the two of them split without any reason indicated, they started to battle it out on Twitter. They got into a heated exchange after Mod said that he was going to auction off Bella's stuff on eBay during his interview with 2Fab in May 2019. He said, "I still have it, and I figure if she doesn't get it soon, I'm gonna have a really poppin' eBay site." He claims to have been joking around, but that didn't stop Bella from clapping back. She responded with on Twitter, "Aw, looks like Madi really wants some press. #hungry. Also, didn't you call the cops on me when I wanted my computer?" And at that point, Mod shared his version of that story, saying that she went through his back door when he wasn't home and that he doesn't trust her, so that's why he called the cops. He also said that he's offered 6 times to meet and swap each other's stuff, but that she refuses. Honestly, it just sounds like a bunch of high school stuff to me. But months later, more tension came after Bella's ex, Tana Mojo, and Modsun were spotted having dinner together. That was pretty much the final straw for Bella. To sum it all up, they are not on good terms. Swiping the number 8 spot is Khloe Kardashian and Jordyn Woods. Khloe was dating Tristan Thompson ever since 2016, and the pair seemed inseparable for a while. They both looked genuinely happy. I thought they were really cute. But throughout the relationship, there were on and off cheating scandals, all done on Tristan's behalf, keep in mind. One came at the worst possible timing when Khloe was actually going into labor with their baby. Fans got to watch the whole scandal go down on the reality TV show Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Regardless of his unfaithfulness, Khloe stayed with him to work things out. But earlier this year, more cheating rumors started, and Jordyn Woods was at the front and center of it. Who's Jordyn? Oh, no one significant, just Kylie Jenner's best friend, who is basically a sister to Khloe. Turns out Jordyn was spotted making out with Tristan after a night of partying. According to E!, Jordyn stayed at Tristan's house partying with him and his friends until the early hours of the morning, 7 AM to be exact, and they were very touchy-feely all night, cuddling on the couch and stuff. The entire Kardashian family unfollowed Jordyn on social media and completely cut her off. Every person involved has taken their side of the story to Twitter and media outlets, but Khloe remained silent and posted a picture of a quote that read, "The worst pain is getting hurt by a person you explained your pain to." Jordyn was living with Kylie at the time and ended up moving out of her house. Now this is all some very serious tea. In the number 7 spot is Taylor Swift and Katy Perry. Their feud has been a complicated one, and one that lasted way longer than it should have, if we're being honest. Back in 2009, they were actually good friends, seen together at award ceremonies, hanging out, laughing together. They even sang Katy's song Hot and Cold on stage together during Taylor's Fearless tour. Taylor dated John Mayer in 2009, and then a couple years later, Katy began dating him in 2012. But things heated up when Taylor went on tour, the Red Tour, and hired 3 dancers who had danced for Katy Perry. A few months later, Katy was also going on tour, and there are claims that Katy tried to get those dancers back for her prison tour, which would mean leaving Taylor's tour halfway through. And that's when the two of them had an even bigger falling out with each other on top of the whole dating my ex thing. Taylor spoke on it, telling the Rolling Stone magazine that they are straight up enemies, and said, "She did something so horrible. She basically tried to sabotage an entire arena tour. She tried to hire a bunch of people out from under me." In May 2018, Katy sent an olive branch to Taylor, like literally sent her an olive branch, and apologized with a note. They finally ended their feud this past year in 2019, and Katy posted a picture of a plate of cookies that said, "Peace at last," and captioned it, feels good at Taylor Swift. Fans are pretty thrilled that this feud is finally over. At number 6 is the battle between Kendra Wilkinson and Holly Madison. The former Playmates were once roommates, both living in the Playboy Mansion as one of Hugh Hefner's girlfriends. They were practically sisters in some weird way since they were dating the same man under the same roof at the same time. But that all came to an end when both girls decided to move out of the mansion back in 2008. They had their own personal tension between each other, but a feud officially began when Holly wrote a memoir about her experience in the Playboy Mansion called Down the Rabbit Hole. In the book, she revisits what she calls disturbing memories and portrays herself as a victim of Hugh's manipulation. But Kendra thought her book was, I quote, disgusting, and says that although she is embarrassed of her own past lifestyle, she would never blame Hefner for it. Kendra openly tweeted at Holly her thoughts and told Fox 5, "We dated an 80-year-old man at the same time. It's very awkward. She probably wants to distance herself from the situation. God bless her, she should. It's embarrassing because I saw some things that she probably doesn't want me to talk about." Holly responded by calling her the fakest person she'd ever met. But Hugh's statement is really the one that matters. In response to Holly's book, he said, I quote, "Over the course of my life, I've had more than my fair share of romantic relationships with wonderful women. Many moved on to live happy, healthy, and productive lives, and I'm pleased to say remain dear friends today. Sadly, there are a few who have chosen to rewrite history in an attempt to stay in the spotlight." Halfway through the list at number 5 is Sarah Jessica Parker and Kim Cattrall. The Sex and the City co-stars were once working together on set every day. And ever since the early days of the show, there were rumors going around about the fighting between the two of them. There were claims about a feud happening based on Sarah receiving a higher salary than Kim. Back in 2004, Kim admitted money was a part of the reason that the show ended. She said, "I felt after 6 years it was time for all of us to participate in the financial windfall of Sex and the City. When they didn't seem keen on that, I thought it was time to move on." Later on in 2017, Daily Mail reported that the third Sex and the City movie was cancelled due to the demands by Kim. They stated, "Warner Brothers refused to meet her demands and had to cancel production as the company decided it wouldn't be fair to fans to produce a movie with only 3 of the 4 main characters." Kim responded by saying the only demand she made was that she didn't want to do the movie, which apparently she turned down back in 2016. In October 2017, Kim did an interview with Piers Morgan and said that her and her other co-stars have never been friends and are just colleagues. But she targeted Sarah specifically and said, "I think she could have been nicer. I really think she could have been nicer. I don't know what her issue is."
Specifically Sarah Jessica Parker, is that I think she could have been nicer. I really think she could have been nicer.
Since then, it has been a bunch of back and forth during press interviews, and it doesn't look like they will be eye to eye on things anytime soon. Here we are at number 4 with Paris Hilton and Lindsay Lohan. An overdramatic and totally unnecessary catfight, let's be honest, but a legendary one, because it is still going on. They were once really good friends and have one of the most famous paparazzi pictures of all times where they were out on the town in LA with Britney Spears. Paris went on to make claims that Lindsay actually party crashed that night and wasn't invited, and that Paris was just out with Britney for the night. For years, they've always had this ongoing distaste for one another, and we never really understood why. But more recently, their feud continued after Paris was on Watch What Happens Live and was asked to say 3 nice things about Lindsay. She replied with, "She's beyond, lame, and embarrassing." Lindsay's representative responded by saying, "Obviously Paris needs to feel relevant and is desperate for attention." But Lindsay did respond herself and posted a throwback picture to Instagram after Paris released her new song and video called Best Friend's Ass. She posted the throwback picture of the two of them and captioned it, #Beyond Friends Are True. Love at Paris Hilton. Congratulations on your new song." It definitely stirred the pot, and she later deleted the post. Alright guys, at number 3 is Lady Gaga and Kelly Osbourne. The war started between them back in 2009 when Osbourne called Gaga a butterface on her show Fashion Police. Of course, Gaga fans jumped to her defense and began harassing Kelly with some pretty evil threats and comments about her body image. Gaga responded with an open letter telling her that her show criticizes and rates people's beauty, which is wrong. However, Sharon Osbourne was not okay with her daughter being slammed on social media, so she wrote an open letter to Gaga and called her a bully since she has millions of followers and didn't do any of this privately. The feud was going on for a while until 2013 when Gaga tried to make a peace offering. The singer made an appearance in October on the X Factor UK where she gave Sharon, who was a judge, a cake to celebrate her daughter's birthday. Kelly was actually turning 29 and it just so happened to fall on that day. Sharon and Gaga even took a smiling picture together with the cake, but Kelly did not accept it and wrote on Twitter, "Not to be ungrateful, but why would you send me a birthday cake via my mother in a country half the world away?" She then posted a picture of the cake to her Instagram with the hashtags "Eat my and hypocrisy," but Gaga ended the feud and responded with kindness, tweeting out, "I didn't know it was your birthday until this afternoon, meant as a peace offering, happy birthday." Coming in the number 2 spot is Justin Bieber and Orlando Bloom. How could we ever forget the time Orlando punched Justin in the face and it was all caught on tape. The altercation took place in a restaurant in Ibiza when the two of them just so happened to run into each other. In the footage you can see them approach each other and Justin gets all tough, yelling, "What's up?" And then bam, Orlando throws the first swing. The reason they were ever feuding was because Justin was getting a little too close with Orlando's wife at the time, Victoria's Secret model Miranda Kerr. It was reported they were exchanging in some pretty flirty texts with each other and photos surfaced of them getting cozy after the 2012 Victoria's Secret fashion show. She always denied the allegations and said they were just friends. Classic excuse. But that did not stop Orlando from feeling some type of way about Biebs. People were quick to break up the fight and the crowd even started clapping as Justin was escorted out. After leaving the restaurant, Justin wanted to get in another hit, so he posted a picture to his Instagram of Miranda in a sexy bikini. After some expected backlash, he then deleted the post. Taking the number 1 spot is Nicki Minaj and Cardi B. The two rappers have never been close pals in the past and their beef with each other has blown to epic proportions. The two of them have collaborated before with their music and have even been supportive of one another in the past, but something else seemed to be going on behind the scenes because Cardi B posted videos on Instagram claiming a variety of different things about Nicki. Rumors said this started after Nicki liked a negative comment on one of Cardi's freestyle rap videos where a user said "dumbass bars." There was tension between the pair which all exploded later on in September 2018 at the New York Fashion Week. The story goes that Cardi approached Nicki and confronted her about the lies she was spreading and claims that a security guard of hers elbowed her in the head. That is when the altercation started and Cardi ended up throwing her shoe at Nicki before being escorted out of the room with just one shoe on. You guys, these girls were in like these long beautiful gowns at New York Fashion Week and Cardi literally took off one of her heels and threw it at Nicki's head. After the altercation, Nicki spoke about it on her show Queen Radio and said that her friend Ra Ali was the person who hit Cardi and that she punched her 8 to 9 times. It then caused a whole legal dispute because Nicki was saying that she has footage and was going to press charges, but apparently was also offering $100,000 to anyone who had the footage. It ended on decent terms with both of them tweeting that they will not be discussing anything anymore. It is almost the 1-year anniversary since the whole shoe throwing fight, so I guess we'll have to wait and see if this really is the end or not. Beginning our countdown, number 10 is Cardi B vs Azealia Banks. It all started 2 years ago when Azealia decided to throw some shade on Cardi during one of her interviews. She went as far as calling her, I quote, "an illiterate, untalented rat." She randomly came up in conversation because Azealia was talking about the culture surrounding black women. She said, 2 years ago the conversation surrounding black women's culture was really reaching an all-time high and we were really like discussing our power amongst ourselves. There was just this really intelligent conversation going on nationally and then everything just kind of changed and then it was like Cardi B. From there it caused this whole big thing on Instagram and just a few months ago the two of them started going at it and Azealia was claiming that Cardi's team was apparently stalking her Instagram page and trying to steal her looks. She started posting online saying that Cardi makes everything look cheap and dirty. Nothing like a good old-fashioned Instagram feud, it is just one of many for our girl Cardi. Next up at number 9 is Cardi B vs Asia. Some people got to see this fight go down live on the reunion show of Love and Hip Hop New York. It happened back in February 2017 when Cardi attacked her on the show and threw a shoe at her. This seems to be Cardi's go-to move, the whole shoe throwing thing. Apparently the girls had been beefing for a while and it was a buildup of tension that just basically exploded on the show. To sum it up, Asia had stated many times that she didn't like Cardi but never said why. Like the two girls never actually had issues, Asia just didn't like her. So Cardi and the show host kept asking Asia to explain herself but she she wouldn't. Cardi was making claims that she didn't like her because she judged her for being a stripper in her past, but Asia wouldn't say anything. I guess the silence got to her and Cardi went off and threw a shoe at her. You can literally see Cardi like quietly bend down, take off her shoe, and then chuck it at the girl's face. And that is a heel too, so that has to hurt. Like, you could poke someone's eye out with that. Swiping our number 8 spot is Cardi B vs The Nation. Not gonna lie, I had no idea who these people are, but apparently The Nation is a crew of 10-year-old rappers. Literally. But this feud will depend on whose side of the story you believe. The youngsters posted a diss track against Cardi, saying that she was washed up and belongs in a zoo. They went as far as saying she smells like a turd, because I guess these are the types of insults that 10-year-old rappers use, but they did step up their insult game and said, I quote, "I don't know what's faker, your life or your butt." And one of them actually shoved a pillow down his pants to like start dancing and imitating Cardi. After that, Cardi responded through an Instagram live video and said, "Not gonna let some little effin' white boys come at me all mother effin' long day. Mother effer, shut the F up and stay in your mother effin' place. Go drink your mother effin' milk." Yes, I obviously had to say what I can't say on here, but God, I love her. The group of boys didn't seem bothered by her response. They actually posted a clip of it to their YouTube, which included a link to their Instagram. But some people started calling her a bully afterwards, saying that she was picking on younger kids, and Cardi denies that she was ever even talking about them. She never said their name and said that people just assumed that she was speaking about them when she wasn't. Girl, I know exactly what happened here. You were totally talking about them, but obviously they're 10 and you didn't want to get in trouble. Moving on to number 7, we have Cardi B vs Travis Scott fans. Leave it up to Cardi to get in some beef with some other celebrity's fan base. But you know what? I do not blame her for this one. I probably would have done the same thing. Earlier this year, Travis premiered his Netflix documentary called Look Mom, I Can Fly, which included a scene of him losing Best Rap Album to Cardi at the Grammys. The documentary showed how upset he was backstage and how he dealt with the loss a few days following the ceremony. Although the rapper was able to get over it, his fans weren't, and they began attacking Cardi, saying that she didn't deserve the win, and also accused her of not writing her own stuff. So Cardi let his fans know what she thought, saying that she even promoted Travis's work Astroworld on her social media and remains friends with him. She said, "Yeah, some grown men talking about dragging Cardi because I won an award for a bomb album. Mind you, I myself promoted Astroworld on my page when it came out and have a good relationship with Trav, while some small men talking about dragging a girl." Keep in mind, this is just one tweet. Girl went off on those Twitter birds, but I would defend my work too, and my win. No one has taken a Grammy from me. In at number 6 is Cardi B vs Access Hollywood. One thing Cardi is known for is her Instagram live rants. Fans love joining her lives as a way to connect with her, but also because she is usually going off on some crazy rant when she's on them. Not gonna lie, I've joined a few of them and it is always entertaining. When she's not mad, she's just really funny. Just a few months ago, she went on her live to go on a rant after she did some press work with Access Hollywood. She was heated, to say the least, and started off the video with a bunch of terms that I can't even say or they will just get bleeped out, but she stressed the point that she does not play around when it comes to her kid, so we know they did something involving her daughter culture. Apparently during an interview they asked her how things have changed since experiencing motherhood. She went on a long explanation and told them that she can't do as much as she could before, and says that sometimes she will pick spending 5 hours with her daughter over 5 hours in the studio. She made it a point to say, yes, I could hire a babysitter, but I'm not going to do that because I don't want my kid calling someone else mommy, and it is important to spend time with your kids. So, Access Hollywood chopped up her response and titled it with the headline, "Cardi B admits that culture calls someone else mommy due to work." She was so mad in this live video, you guys. She's literally screaming at the camera like as if it's Access Hollywood, and tells them not to twist her words and use her kids as clickbait. Preach, mama. I agree with that. She also said she would never do press for them again, and she said that she was gonna spit on them the next time she sees them. She also said a lot of other threatening, horrific things that I can't say, so you can go watch the clip on YouTube after this. Halfway through the list at number 5 is Cardi B vs Tekashi. It is no secret that Tekashi spent months in and out of court. It made headlines and quickly turned into a series of memes, because that is just the world that we live in now. But the world was shocked when Tekashi technically snitched while on trial, saying that Cardi B was a part of the same gang as him, the Bloods. Now, I don't know much about gangs, but one thing I do know is that you never snitch on someone, bro. Like, that is against the rules. In court, he was asked if he joined a gang to get ahead in his music career, and that is when he used Cardi B as an example, saying that she was also a member of the gang, and even used some Blood members in one of her music videos. His attorney said he was using Cardi as an example to help his case, and fans thought that roping her into all of that was incredibly wrong and messed up. Cardi B's first response was a hilarious meme though. She continued to deny any of the claims, and for the most part she actually kept her cool on social media. Of course, she stuck up for herself and her side of the story, but she didn't go off on like some big rant, and that is probably because she ain't trying to get involved with all that legal mess. Like, that's serious stuff. But nonetheless, a gang member that snitches, you got some beef now. Here we are at number 4 with Cardi B versus Offset. For those who don't know, Offset is Cardi's husband and also the father of her daughter Culture. These two have had their fair share of feuds, and we only know because most of them made headlines. It all started when Tekashi 69's girlfriend Jade made claims that Offset was DMing her things like, "Miss you." She even screen recorded her DMs to show it, but Offset said that his account was hacked and stuck to his defense that he never cheated on Cardi. Turns out he actually did cheat on her, which she found out about. Cardi keeps her relationship issues off Instagram live rants, but we can imagine the feud those two had when she found out that he cheated on her. However, this feud does come with a happy ending because she chose to stay and work on their marriage. During an interview, she said, "When me and my husband got into our issues, you know, he cheated and everything, I decided to stay with him, and a lot of women felt disappointed in me. Everybody has issues. I believe in forgiveness. I prayed on it. Me and my husband, we prayed on it." So I gotta give her credit for being open and honest about her decision. I mean, it's your life, girl. I'm personally just proud of her for not hopping on one of those Instagram lives about her personal life like that. In the third spot is Cardi B versus the famous reporter Jillian Solano. Cardi B decided to spend a day off at a spa in New York with her parents and her baby daughter. That is where she was approached by the Univision reporter who tried to get an interview with Cardi and her dad. Video footage of the altercation was leaked online and showed Cardi calling her the B word and said that she doesn't know how to do her job. She later went on Instagram Live, of course, and exploded, saying that Jillian and her camera crew were basically stalking her that day and approached her out of nowhere without any warning to have her do a live interview on the show. In her rant, she said, "I love the show, but the way you work, you lady are not professional. I'm literally getting out of my car, the door is not even closed, and you see that I'm with my daughter and I'm with my dad, and you put a camera. I turn around and there's a camera and a mic in my mouth. You don't know how to do your job." I would personally like to point out that she's not even on the sidewalk when they approach her with the mic and camera. Like, she's literally standing on the side of the road with her dad while her mom and daughter are inside of the spa already. Filling in the number 2 spot is Cardi B versus Baddie G and Jade. Cardi was accused of attacking them at a strip club, and since the altercation they have both been banned from working there. The two sisters, aged 21 and 23, were bartending at a Angeles strip club when Cardi allegedly threw a hookah pipe and drinking glasses at them. They claim that she did it because she thought one of them had slept with her husband Offset. The girls immediately reported the incident to the police, and Cardi was charged with 2 misdemeanors, assault and reckless endangerment. After the incident, of course, Cardi went off online and was threatening to put her hands on them, but it was ultimately settled in court. Cardi's bail was set at $2,500, but the judge released her without bail because he didn't consider her to be a flight risk. I mean, obviously, we're gonna know where you are, girl. However, he did issue an order of protection for the two girls that forbids Cardi having any contact with them, which includes threats or comments on social media, so baby girl needs to keep them out of her mouth in those Instagram live rants. She's gonna end up in jail. Alright guys, I know you've been waiting for this one. In the number 1 spot is Cardi B versus Nicki Minaj. One of the most epic showdowns of all time. The two rappers have a long history together, and it would take me an hour to fully dissect it, but I will address the feud that led to Cardi throwing her shoe yet again. It all went down in September 2018 when the two of them showed up to the same event at New York Fashion Week. Video footage leaked online immediately, which showed Cardi lunging at Nicki before security quickly broke it up. Lo and behold, behold, Cardi takes off one of her heels and throws it at her since she's unable to reach her. They both went online after, voicing their side of the story. There's a lot of he said, she said, but Cardi's big post said that Nicki was making remarks about her daughter and her abilities about her as a mother, and that is really what set her off that night. Since then, the two of them have apparently squashed their beef, but we will see how long Cardi keeps those heels on for. In the number 10 spot is Elon Musk and Johnny Depp. If you missed what's been going on between them, they started feuding after Depp made claims that his ex-wife Amber Heard had an affair with Elon when they were together. Not only that, but he accused him of having a threesome with Amber and Cara Delevingne, which he denied. Actually, they all denied it. Elon gave a statement following his claims and said that he was never with Amber while she was married to Depp, and that it is totally false. Depp and Amber are in a really nasty lawsuit right now for domestic violence, and one of the text messages used as evidence had Johnny threatening to cut off Elon's genitals. Oh wow. Once this news surfaced, Elon responded by challenging Johnny to a cage fight. Of course, the internet is taking this very seriously and is already betting their odds on who would win. So let me know in the comments, who do you think would win? Are we team Johnny or are we team Elon? Team Johnny, he would just, I feel like he don't mess around. Up next, number 9 is Harry Jowsey and Francesca Ferragamo. The couple took the world by storm after the new Netflix series Too Hot to Handle blew up. People quickly fell in love with them and started getting invested with them as a couple. But then what seemed like out of nowhere, Francesca posted a 6-minute YouTube video where she was crying and explaining that Harry had broken up with her and that some of the rumors going around were true. We later found out that they were cheating rumors. Then he posted a YouTube response video saying that it wasn't that and that he simply just fell out of love with her. A few months to follow, nasty rumors kept going around and Francesca posted a written statement to her Instagram story saying she now has her lawyer involved. That's how serious some of these things are getting. I've never, like, a breakup involving lawyers? Damn, y'all weren't even together that long. This is crazy. Sliding into number 8 is Jillian Michaels and Lizzo. Jillian Michaels is a health and fitness guru who caused some controversy after making comments about Lizzo that came off as body shaming. She was doing an interview on BuzzFeed News AM to DM when she talked about Lizzo's body and said, "Why are we celebrating her body? Why does it matter? Cause it isn't going to be awesome if she gets diabetes. I'm just being honest." Fans quickly defended Lizzo and slammed Julia for fat shaming. Lizzo took the high road in this one, so the feud was really between Julia and Lizzo's fans, but other celebrities actually got involved too and defended Lizzo, like Jamila Jamil and Whoopi Goldberg. Sliding to number 7 is Nicki Minaj and Meek Mill. There's been bad blood between Nicki's ex, Meek Mill, and her current husband, Kenneth Petty, for a long time now. But in February 2020, Nicki took things to another level after seeing that Meek liked a meme which made fun of her new husband. She posted an Instagram story where she wrote, "You a clown, you do it for likes, hashtag Twitter fingers, beat women, scared of men." Her allegations that he beats women was not taken lightly, and he responded on Twitter saying, "The only way you can try to end my career is to say I beat women, talk about your brother convicted of rape and you knew and paid for his lawyer." Being honest, I think his comment was also too far. He was referring to Nicki's brother, who was sentenced to 25 years to life for predatory sexual assault. The whole situation escalated very quickly and their tweets just continued, where they made very serious claims against each other involving domestic violence. Y'all, stop fighting with your damn exes. They in the past. Rolling into number 6 is Ellen DeGeneres vs. everyone. Now, I know this sounds silly, you guys, but there's no better way to describe this one. I literally just can't narrow it down to one person. For some reason, 2020 is not Ellen's year, and the world has turned against her. She was once known for being America's sweetheart, but then she started getting exposed for mistreatment in the workplace and towards other celebrities. It all started when a mean side to her was exposed by Nicki Tutorials and Dakota Johnson, both who were guests on her show. From there, more celebrities came forward with stories, as well as her former employees and even her old bodyguard. Things have gotten so bad, the Ellen DeGeneres show is under international investigation by Warner Media. Executives from the show sent out a memo to staff members saying interviews will be conducted about their experiences on set by a Warner Media's employee relations group. Things are getting serious for Ellen. Damn. I thought it was just some gossip, but halfway through our countdown, number 5 is Tati Westbrook and James Charles. You probably saw their feud online even if you don't actively follow their YouTube careers. It was probably the biggest YouTube feud of 2019 and it had people talking about it for months. We're actually still talking about it now, a year later, as you can see. Tati and James were close friends, but then Tati went online and accused James of being a predator to minors. He ended up losing hundreds of thousands of subscribers and people were attacking him online, accusing him of sexually harassing minors. Things were getting very serious. James ended up posting a response video to hers where he was devastated she would make claims like that and said the things that she was claiming were far from true. Other beauty YouTubers then got involved in the whole thing and it was just one messy situation, and it still is because new things keep coming up and people are getting involved. This is like a year-long fight, guys. Moving on to number 4 is Bella Thorne and Tana Mongeau. The two of them dated for a long time, but things were a little confusing from the outside looking in. During their relationship, Bella was also in a committed relationship to Modsun, but they were all okay with the fact that she was dating 2 people, very openly. But Bella ended up splitting from both of them, and then pictures surfaced of Tana and Modsun out having dinner. They were not being romantic with each other in the photos, but it was enough to set Bella off on Twitter. She tweeted, "Tana and I are no longer good. She broke girl code. I'm over it." She even went on to make claims that Tana was dating her in the first place for Twitter, basically for clout. Tana responded to her saying she has no idea why she's mad and that her claims are super hurtful. Honestly, it was pretty wild to see them having a fight on Twitter because fans were chiming in as each tweet was being sent. Like they were waiting, like who's gonna answer next? What's gonna happen? Guys, just text each other. Alright guys, so number 3 is Taylor Swift and Scooter Braun. Scooter is one of the biggest record executives in the music industry and owns Big Machine label group. He works with tons of big artists like Justin Bieber and Ariana Grande. But in 2019, Taylor exposed him for allegedly bullying her and using her music against her. She said that he acquired her entire music catalog from her first 6 albums after he purchased the label group for $300 million on June 30th and was using that to his advantage. She posted an open letter to him revealing that he has all rights to her old music and she is not able to purchase them back. She wrote, "Scooter has stripped me of my life's work that I wasn't given an opportunity to buy. My musical legacy is about to lie in the hands of someone who tried to dismantle it. This is my worst case scenario." Taylor shared the post with her fans on social media, explaining why she wasn't allowed to perform any of her old songs at the AMAs. At that point, other celebrities got involved, some of them defending Scooter because like they are his artists, but Taylor's fans stuck by her side. In spot number 2 is Prince William and Prince Harry. They have been having a royal rift for many years now and a lot of people are confused by the whole thing. But they are human and it is normal for siblings to fight. Apparently the feud started between them when Prince William said words about Harry's wife, Meghan Markle. It started back in 2016 when Harry met Meghan and finally introduced her into his family. William was not as supportive of it as other members in the family were and referred to Meghan as this girl. From there, Meghan was a huge topic and argument between them, but also the family as a whole. Some people felt she came with too much baggage or maybe was untrustworthy and that they needed to keep guard of it as she entered into the royal position. But Harry and Meghan have decided to leave the royal family and the brothers say they are working on the relationship. So let's hope they can figure it out. But we have made it to number 1 and we have Kanye West and Kim Kardashian. This one is a more one-sided feud, but it is taking the world by storm right now. Kanye recently announced he would be running for president but started acting erratic during the presidential campaign rally. He ended up having a meltdown where he started crying and saying that he almost killed one of his own children through an abortion. The whole thing was filmed and it went viral immediately. Not long after that, he went on Twitter and slammed his wife Kim Kardashian, saying that she and her family are white supremacists who tried to have him locked up with medical care. He was making a bunch of random claims, saying that he was trying to divorce Kim for a while and also accused her of having an affair with Meek Mill. But it is clear that he is struggling right now with mental issues and has been seeking help for them. He deleted the tweets a few days later and also apologized to Kim on Twitter. The most recent update though is photos recently surfaced of them talking in the car together and Kim was just in full out tears. So it seems claims that it was a very emotional talk.
At number 10, The Weeknd and the Grammys. The Grammys are one of the most prestigious awards in the music industry. Pretty much every artist dreams of one day receiving one, and they probably don't want to put their chances of receiving one in jeopardy. One artist, however, isn't interested in being on the Grammys' good side and would rather fight them than be friends. Singer The Weeknd announced that he would be boycotting the Grammys for the foreseeable future due to the unfairness of the awards. It's alleged that there are secret committees within the Academy who decide who gets nominated and who wins awards, and this has been the subject of the feud between The Weeknd and the Grammys. These allegations stem from the revelations made by former chief executive Deborah Duggan, who filed a 44-page complaint about the Grammys where she cited, quote, "The Grammys voting process is ripe with corruption. Members of the board of trustees and the secret committees choose artists with whom they have personal or business relationships," end quote. After his 2020 song Blinding Lights was snubbed of any nominations, The Weeknd blamed the alleged corruption for his snub, and he and the Academy have been in a war of words, so to speak, ever since. Other than the allegations of corruption within the Academy, The Weeknd also alleges that he was locked out of Grammy nominations because he decided to perform at the Super Bowl. Because of this music conspiracy, the singer released a statement in March of this year that read, quote, "Because of the secret committees, I will no longer allow my label to submit my music to the Grammys," end quote. At number 9, James Charles and Asian Doll. It's a little embarrassing for celebrities to get dragged online for something as petty as a Twitter feud. Like, imagine trying to clap back at someone just for them to clap back even harder, leaving the internet laughing at you. This is pretty much what happened between James Charles and rapper Asian Doll. It all started when the rapper tweeted out about makeup artist prices, where she said, quote, "If you charge over $150 to do a face of makeup, then you can go to hell respectively." James saw this tweet and it frustrated him a bit, to the point where he felt the need to respond, saying, quote, "What a stupid tweet. One foundation can cost $50, artists have to buy every shade for their kit, and that's just the first step. It's expensive to work as a makeup artist. Either pay an artist rate for their time and skill, or do it yourself, or get it done at a counter and risk looking busted," end quote. Asian Doll saw his reply and basically clapped back with a "nobody asked you" sort of message, where she basically made a dig at his flashback Mary look. The rapper tweeted saying, quote, "What a dumbass to be in my business replying to something that has absolutely nothing to do with you. I'm having a debate about hood prices, baby. Stay over there in Hollywood where they have you looking like a ghost," end quote. This little Twitter feud had fans laughing and memeing the whole situation, and criticized James for even jumping into the conversation in the first place. Now, before carrying on with the list, I'd like to ask you guys to consider leaving a like on this video if you're enjoying it so far, and also check out my gaming channel, Viper Girl, and hit that subscribe button while you're there. At number 8, Meghan Markle and Kate Middleton. After their bombshell Oprah interview, Meghan Markle and Prince Harry have been scrutinized for a lot of what they spoke about. One of the biggest things people are talking about in regards to their interview is their relationship with the rest of their family. According to sources, the most strained relationships are those between Meghan Markle and Kate Middleton, as well as Prince Harry and his brother William. Meghan and Kate have reportedly been on poor terms for a long time, with some sources saying that they haven't spoken to each other in over a year. During the interview, Meghan addressed the public's view on her feud with Kate over Princess Charlotte's dress at Meghan's wedding, saying that Kate made her cry over it. Though they eventually patched things up and Kate apologized, they haven't been on speaking terms, not because of anything personal, but because of the feud between their husbands. There doesn't seem to be a lot of hate between Meg and Kate, but there seems to be a lot of tension since their partners aren't on good terms with each other. A source explained Meghan and Kate's situation in a statement, saying, quote, "There is real animosity that the brothers have towards one another, and that has spilled over to Meghan and Kate's relationship, making it very hard for them to be friends or even friendly," end quote. Hopefully they can one day patch things up for the sake of being rid of this negative energy. At number 7, Addison Rae and Bryce Hall. Two of TikTok's biggest stars and former power couple Addison Rae and Bryce Hall have been feuding with each other ever since their messy breakup just a few weeks ago. In March of this year, there were reports that the couple had split up for the second time after their relationship was bombarded with cheating rumors and scandals. These rumors first came about during a Zoom call with some of her fans, where Addison revealed that she and Bryce had been fighting, and so these rumors got off the ground and started circulating. Shortly after that, Addison made a cryptic Instagram post about how she wanted to keep some of the things she's dealing with away from the public eye. There was some speculation that this had something to do with Bryce, and this theory was embraced by more followers as they started to notice that some of Bryce and Addison's couple pictures had been removed from social media. Later, their breakup was finally addressed with a simple confirmation of their split. We don't know why they broke up or if the cheating rumors are true, but they are on and off again, so their feuding and fighting may only last a short amount of time, but
We shall see. At number 6, Tana Mongeau and Cole Kerrigan. Influencers Tana Mongeau and Cole Kerrigan have been caught in a feud after Cole alleged that Tana hacked his social media accounts and tried to sue him for $100,000. It all started when Cole put Tana on blast by sharing a screenshot of a cease and desist text allegedly sent by Tana's lawyer. The text essentially warned Cole that he was in violation of a contract he had signed with Tana and that a breach of contract would subject him to pay $100,000. The contract, it is alleged that Tana has her circle of friends sign a non-disclosure agreement each year, and so now Cole is in trouble after one of his social media posts violated the terms of said contract. Now on top of this lawsuit, Cole also claims that Tana hired someone to hack his social media accounts, where they were able to delete a number of accounts like his YouTube channel and Twitter account. Cole claims that all of this drama is because he is one of the only people that Tana knows who isn't afraid to speak out about her. Cole has also claimed that Tana has kicked him out of her house, used him for free makeup services, and would even go through his personal belongings when he wasn't home. There haven't been many updates on this feud, but I'm sure that this is far from over. At number 5, Bad Baby and Dr. Phil. If you're a fan of the show Dr. Phil, then you may be familiar with Danielle Bregoli, aka the Cash Me Outside girl. Danielle, now known as rapper Bad Baby, was on the show because her mother was struggling to help her with her behavioral issues. As a result of her time on the show, Dr. Phil referred Danielle to a reform camp of sorts called Turnabout Ranch. The ranch is supposed to be a teen residential facility where they rehabilitate troubled teens. Well, recently Danielle came out to talk about her experiences at the ranch, recounting the abuse that she endured there and calling Dr. Phil out on recommending such a horrific place. The rapper claimed that she was apprehended by workers in the middle of the night, taken from her home and transported to the ranch where she was forced to stay awake for 3 days. She also spoke out about the facility's use of restraints on teens in attendance and how many other attendees cited many instances of abuse while at the ranch. Danielle spoke out about her experiences in her YouTube video, and she spoke directly to Dr. Phil, condemning his support for such a place and warned him that if he doesn't take accountability, that she would, quote, handle things her way. As of right now, Dr. Phil has yet to comment on the situation, but I'm sure that Danielle is planning her fight for justice. At number 4, Sabrina Carpenter and Olivia Rodrigo. One of the hottest songs out there right now is Driver's License by Olivia Rodrigo, and though it is seen as the breakup anthem of 2021, it's also got a huge backstory and a huge feud surrounding it. Essentially, Olivia wrote Driver's License after her breakup with her High School Musical, the series co-star Joshua Bassett. Apparently, this was a very messy breakup that turned into a very messy love triangle after actress Sabrina Carpenter was brought into the mix and started dating Joshua. Are you following? Okay, so Olivia releases a song with a few nods to Joshua's new relationship with Sabrina. Next, in response to Olivia's song, Joshua releases a few songs of his own, including one called Lie Lie Lie. And then, Sabrina released a song of her own that included references to Olivia, as the song was about getting into a new relationship while an ex watches on. Now, no one is saying anything directly, and it is a very read between the lines kind of situation, but it's still very messy and fans are obsessed. It could all be for PR, or maybe not, but it is certainly a very juicy story. At number 3, Prince Harry and Prince William. One of the biggest feuds on this list is one that I briefly mentioned before. Prince Harry and Prince William have been feuding for years, but with his exit from the royal family as well as his bombshell interview with Oprah, things may have gotten even more tense. The brothers have always had a strained relationship even when growing up. It is said that William adopted a more serious attitude, being the one destined for the throne, and Harry was more laid back and carefree. These two personalities apparently clashed a lot growing up and remains difficult to this day. Now, with the added strain on the family following Harry and Meghan's interview, William is reportedly furious with his brother. According to sources, William is struggling to hold back his side of the story, as the Queen has said that they would be handling the situation privately. Sources say that William is looking to defend his wife Kate, as well as clear up any rumors surrounding racial allegations within the family. Harry and William haven't spoken in a long time according to sources, and I don't really think they will be anytime soon. At number 2, Sharon Osbourne and Cheryl Underwood. After becoming friends on The View, Sharon Osbourne and Cheryl Underwood are now feuding with each other after they got into a very heated argument surrounding Piers Morgan's remarks about Meghan Markle. Sharon backed up Piers' comments about Meghan Markle's mental health, and this frustrated Cheryl. The two got into a very heated debate that ended with Sharon in tears, but this also sparked a conversation about Sharon's ideals. She was called a racist, and a number of other accusations came out about how she has used various slurs in the past when talking talking about her other co-hosts. As a result of this, Sharon was fired from the show and an internal investigation was launched. Cheryl said that she and Sharon were good friends, but because of this feud, they haven't spoken to each other. Sharon said that she tried sending Cheryl an apology text, but it went unanswered. We don't know if they'll make up, but it might be too soon to tell. And finally, at number 1, Conor McGregor and Jake Paul. Now I'm gonna keep this one short and sweet because there is just so much pettiness and I can't handle it. Basically, there is a one-sided feud between Conor McGregor and Jake Paul. Jake wants to fight Conor, and Conor's like, meh. Jake has been seen all over social media antagonizing, posting videos, and calling him names, and even bribing the guy with a $50 million check. Really, it's very childish, playground-type drama that no one besides Jake really has the time for. After all his antagonizing, nothing really ever came of it. Conor hasn't fought Jake and probably never will because of how annoying he is. Sorry to all the Jake Paul fans, but you kinda have to admit he's gone a little too far with this one, right?